Welcome. Thank you all for joining us today. I'm so glad to have so many people here who are invested in supporting K-12 education, both in our schools out in our larger community. My name is Lynne Boswell. I'm an Austin ISD trustee and an Austin ISD parent. I'm also a fairly new member of United Way's Women United group, where I'm learning so much. Also a lover of words in my personal life and my work as a journalist. So I am thrilled to see United Way sharing its passion, its power with this new coalition focused on reading. We're so excited to have two people here today to give us an overview of this newest United Way focus area. One is my friend Allison Dwyer, Women United Executive Committee member and a member of the new grade level reading coalition. The second is Michelle Hutson-Crawford, who's the director of K-12 education at United Way. And if you're here, you probably know that United Way's mission is to bring people, ideas, and resources together to fight poverty in our community. And our newest coalition, called Read to Succeed, is focused on doing that by ensuring that children are reading on grade level by third grade. It's a perfect example of United Way's work in action and work across our community. We're excited to share more about this work and how it supports United Way's effort to change systems that perpetuate poverty and inequity in our community. And my friend Allison Dwyer is here to share more with us about this exciting new coalition and the work that it will be doing here. Thank you.
Thank you, Lynn. I'm so happy to see you here. I'm so happy all of you are here today. I love talking about United Way and their mission. A little bit about me is, yes, I am a board member and a Women United member and a new coalition member for this. But my trade is speech pathology, excuse my dog. And what I worked in the schools. And one thing that I saw frequently was that many children were coming already behind. And as a result, teachers, especially in Title I schools, needed help and support, and they also had the pressure of the STAR test. And so often I would get referrals coming to me of kindergartens, first, second, third graders who were behind. And yes, I could support them and help them, but I realized quickly that there was a lot of prevention that could have been done on the earlier side. And that became a passion of mine. I found United Way during my time raising 4 daughters. And while I wasn't working anymore in the schools, it was a joy to find United Way and their Success by 6 program, which, as many of you know, focuses on early childhood and the prevention aspect, making sure all little children have access to quality early childhood education. Since then, United Way has not only been very successful in that, but they've also launched into the Family Connects program. So many things that all center around the family and supporting the family, supporting children, fighting poverty. It's a huge task, but nonetheless, I'm extremely honored to work with them. They're a fabulous organization. And what they do so well is convene experts in the city. They humbly go to experts and convene them around the table and figure out what's the best thing we can do. And this is where we are with K-12. The Dell Foundation saw the work that we did as Success by 6, or United Way has done as Success by 6, and saw how successful it has been, that they wanted to venture in and urged us to venture into the K-12 space. So many children, and Michelle's going to talk to this, are behind and continue to be behind. And there is a lot we can be doing to eradicate that and let them be on grade level. So with that, I'm going to introduce Michelle Hutson-Crawford, who is our fearless leader in this coalition and good work in education. Hi, Michelle.
Hi, Allison. Hello, everyone. So grateful to be in this virtual space with you on this beautiful day today. Allison, thank you so much for all of the context leading up to this new branch of service that United Way is so fortunate to be rolling out now. Just a little bit of context. So yes, this new pillar of work around K-12 will focus broadly in that area, but our first, and I just wanted to kind of clear up that basically we've gone back to the drawing board around our coalition name. We realized that there's another program that has Read to Succeed. So we have two really good options that we will be previewing on Thursday, Allison. So we're excited about that for the members to vote again.
Yes.
The grade level reading, it works.
Yep. Okay, well, so we're going to kick it off with Michelle. Why don't you tell us about the current landscape in Central Texas as far as K through 12 goes?
Absolutely. So we know that there are so many different disparities and challenges out there for our children. Right now, we are in the infant stages of tackling one of those challenges, which is grade level reading. So we're focusing at the moment on K through third grade. And then in the near future, we will be branching out to tackle some other challenges, possibly around math or STEM, college preparation programs. Honestly, the sky is the limit. But as of right now, this is where we are getting our footing and starting off. So reading proficiency, as most of you may know, is the gateway to success for our children. It really paves the way. It opens up so many different avenues or closes those avenues depending on the type of education and access a child has. So we know that children transition from reading to learn to learning to read around the fourth grade grade level. And what we are seeing, and right now we just, of course, have our 2019 STAR testing data. We've seen that here in our area, 30%, y'all, listen to this, 30% of low-income children passed the Reading STAR test in 2019, compared to 65% of non-low-income children. And the kicker here that's really disheartening is that this has not changed since 2012. So we've stayed stagnant. I am really optimistic about the work that we are going to do here as a community. And I'm excited that United Way, with the seed money and the support of our coalition, and of course, Michael and Susan Dell, that we're able to bring a community-wide program here to the area, because this is something we're seeing all throughout the states. This is just not Texas, it's just not, central Texas, it's throughout our nation. And so we are on the train to tackle some of these challenges around grade level reading.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good. So can you talk a little bit more about those challenges that face? How will we improve K through 12? What are the challenges at hand that we must overcome?
Absolutely. So one challenge is access and making sure that our families have, and our children have, the resources that they need to support them in their success as early readers. We know that we have parents who unfortunately are getting screening tests, so hearing and vision, later on versus at, the early years. And that plays a huge effect in how our children learn and how they grow. Another challenge is, that we're looking at is just children being able to really connect to books. So, just when children open books, do they see themselves? There's a huge gap between, children of color seeing themselves in books versus, the global majority who have books who are centered around characters that look like them. So we're focusing on that. We are wanting to, our goal, I would say overall, really is to not so much push in, because we already have great things happening during the school day, but look at the challenges we have, like on the after school hours. So what can we do as a coalition to provide these resources in the community? So do we need to put, small libraries in the community, soliciting maybe some parents in the community to help us build the book libraries and put them there. Looking at how we can get our children to and from the library. We do have Austin Public Libraries on board, as well as Pflugerville, and we're so excited because they want to put a library card in every child's hand, not worrying about the fees or the stressors of it, but now, thinking around how can we get them there. So Allison, there really is just, there's a list of things. There's a lot of things for us to tackle. And so we want to make sure that we are being very intentional about how we build this coalition, but most importantly, making sure that we have the voices of our community members at the table with us, because ultimately this is, we are serving our community. We are serving our children and our families. And so it's important for them to help guide and lead this work and recognize those changes.
And I love the community aspect that we're really going grassroots here. Can you tell me a little, or tell everyone a little bit more about who's a sample of who is on the coalition? Not everybody, but you mentioned Austin Public Library, which I love that. Pflugerville. Tell us a little bit of how you chose your community for the coalition.
Yeah, so just a sample of individuals or representatives or organizations we have on the coalition. We have 100 Black Men of Austin. We have Hutson-Crawford. We have a representative from the county. We have Book Spring, Literacy First, Austin Batcave. So this is a diverse group of individuals. If all we need is that willingness and that compassion and that passion to want to work with us to cultivate this community, this reading community, if you will. And so arms really we're open. Of course, we have some great individuals and organizations that are already kind of onboarded with some of our other coalitions like Success by Six and such. And so we reached out to them, and then in turn, we've just had some people say, hey, I know such and such. Hey, I know such and such. And so, I mean, the door is open, right? So we're reaching out.
It sounds like it's open to anyone who has got this passion as well. So please, we need your input and support. Okay, well, thank you for that. So as the recipient of this grant from the Dell Foundation, what is United Way's role in Austin, and why are you uniquely positioned to step into this role?
Well, I want to say this, Allison. First, I want to just recognize that United Way is, a dedicated organization, and we take the position that we hold here in our community very seriously. We thrive and live and breathe our core values. So kindness, sustainability, integrity, inclusiveness, innovation, and kindness. I think I got them all. So, and this is not just from those of us who are kind of in the trenches, if you will. This is all the way up to our upper leadership. It's demonstrated. And so how we show up in those, well, now 4 virtual walls of, United Way is exactly how we show up here in our community. So we have, built relationships, trusting relationships. And so when we were awarded this money, it wasn't a surprise to me because I know the good that United Way does. I know the groundwork that we've set with Success by Six, family pathways, the stellar work 211 our Connect ATX family is doing. So, yeah.
I couldn't agree more. Thank you guys for one thing I love so much about y'all is because not being or just coming to you all on my own. I did my research, and it can be frustrating to see so many such big causes being tackled by many different organizations instead of maybe coming together at the table. And I do love that we bring people to the table together and work towards tackling these problems, because it's not a new problem. Let's face it, this has been around a long time, but so I'm excited. So what are the long-term goals? What will a successful end of this work look like?
So ultimately, our goal really is to empower our community to carry this work forward. We want to look back 10 plus years from now and see growth. I'm very grateful to have so many talented people and organizations that are on this coalition, but y'all, let me just be really honest. Once again, this is not about us. We can fund this, we can power this, but it's going to be up to our community to sustain this. So again, it is very important that we have the buy-in from barbershops, community grocery stores, schools, you name it. That's the only way we're going to go further would be together, basically. So it is my hope that we will, and this is our this is not our third meeting. Our third coalition meeting will be this Thursday. So we're still in our infant stages. So, but again, we're being very intentional on how we empower our community. Really giving them or setting them up with the tools, providing them the tools to be able to come to the table and be, think partners and feel empowered to go out and get that support and bring on board, individuals to help power this forward. So that's the ultimate goal is for us to be here in another 5 or 10 years having this conversation, but instead of me, it's a family or it's a community member representing the coalition and really talking about the work.
Okay. And I guess, do you have a model that you're kind of following? Is there a model in the United States or in the world that is sort of helping you guys sort of, that's already done this?
Absolutely. And I have to give kudos to, everyone that I've reached out to, particularly we have the opportunity to meet with Read by Fourth, which is the Philadelphia program. And I'll put the link in the chat, because if you guys have time today, I would love for you to go and watch the video that kind of highlights their program. It is absolutely phenomenal. But yes, so they have shared all sorts of documents with us. They have shared, their journey to where they are. They were very open about challenges. And so there's no need for us to recreate the wheel. We just need to put our stamp on it and do it in a way that works best for our community.
Wow, okay. And so, God, there's a lot of things I want to say, but I want to leave some time for questions. But what do you feel like has been the propelling, what has triggered this all of a sudden coalition to, besides Dell, maybe it's just the Dell coming to us and empowering us and saying, you've got this, you can do this. But can you speak to that? Like, what is the trigger for United Way really into this space? Like, why are we going into this space? I know we said this at the beginning, but I just would love to hear a quick, snapshot of why we're doing this. I want everyone to really hear the importance. And I think you said maybe it's because there was 30% of our kids, the only 30% are passing the STAR test. Can you say that again? Is that correct?
30%. 30%.
Yes. All of our school children in Central Texas, or of just the low income children? So
that's the low income. And I'm going to throw this out there. Do you know who that 30% represents? Like, that's our Black and Brown, our BIPOC children, right? Indigenous children. These are the children that are really suffering. And so, and to answer the first part of your question, Allison, this isn't just something that United Way thought of 2 months ago. This has been on the table. So for quite some time now. So we have just been really fortunate to finally, land the seed money. And so we're all in. There's so many studies now, actually within probably the last 10 years, really championing for pre-K education. And so, it's time for us to do the same thing, with our K through 12th grade children. They need our support. I don't have children, but this is a mindset that I have about kids. They all belong to me, right? As a former educator, they belong to me. Y'all, there's the cutest little boy that rides his bike up and down the street every day. I kid you not. And I cry over anything. So I'm like, please don't fall, sweet baby, please don't. And I'm cheering him on to say, go, you can do it, because he has his little helmet and his training wheels. So, I mean, this is our responsibility. We want healthy and happy children. This is our future. We need our communities to thrive and survive. And so how is that going to happen without us pouring into them? This is everyone's issue, not just, a particular person or group. This is all of our issue.
That's the one. That's what I wanted to hear. Thank you, Michelle. It is. And we need to step up is basically what you're saying. So tell us how we can step up. How can people on this call support this work?
Absolutely. So again, we are in our infant stages, and I want to share this with you. Um, about 2 summers ago, my family and I, we were really fortunate to go to California and film for Family Feud. And the one thing Steve told us, if it's on your mind, say it because it could be the answer. Well, daggone it. We were up against the other team. It was the last question, and this question really was a deciding factor if we went on to fast money and beyond that. So, the question was put out there. We're thinking about it the whole time, y'all. My sister had the answer, and she never said it. So I'm saying that to say to you, if there's something that you can think about, if there is someone that you know, if you have resources, don't question. Let's talk that out together, right? Please contact me. You can get with Allison, you can get with Jen. Contact me and let's talk this over. We are open to any and every idea, avenue, resource that you may have available. We definitely need funding. We want to, again, we have seed money from Michael and Susan Dell, but as we grow these programs out, we need funding to help us sustain the work that we're going to be doing. So if you have marketing resources, maybe we can help that with our budget, with our phenomenal marketing team, printing resources, whatever, y'all. We are open to it all.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much, Michelle. I love your passion. It should, I think, I know it makes everyone on this call happy to see that, because that's where it starts, is just the passion for the children, and that all children deserve to the same equal playing field. That's it. That's the goal. So thank you.
Absolutely. You are more than welcome. Thank y'all so much.
Do you have some questions in the chat for us, for Michelle?
Not yet, but we are moving into question and answer session. So if you do have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat or to unmute yourself and ask. All right, questions are starting to roll in. Do you want me to read them, Allison, or can you see them?
I can see them. Let's see. What's been the best part of building the coalition thus far?
The best part of building the coalition, honestly, it has to be making connections with the phenomenal organizations that we have on board. I was really, scared. It's a new project. This is a new thing for me, when we first started out. But, I just like, well, are people going to be on the coalition? I was overwhelmed. I had a goal of 15 coalition partners for our first meeting. Y'all, we had 30 plus. So their energy is like past 10. They're revved up and they're ready. And they show that every time they come to our coalition meetings, and they're, sharing out their ideas and their resources and the support. So for me, so far, that's been the best part.
And it's almost like when you say that, they've just been waiting for someone to come and sort of lead, take the lead.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Catalina, Barry was asking, what are the biggest needs, and where are the biggest needs? Catalina, feel free to pipe in. Like, I'm not sure what you mean by where the biggest needs are. Are you talking about in the city, in the neighborhoods?
Kind of broadly speaking, where are you seeing more of the needs? Is it you can answer geographically, or answer more precise in some of the work that you're doing?
Michelle?
Yes, thank you for that question. So right now, we have not identified, those hot neighborhoods, if you will, that is going to be a part of this process. But thinking along the lines of like the East Austin area, so it's definitely, would be where part of our focus is. But our hope is to grow here in Manor, in Pflugerville, in Austin, in some of the other areas, once we identify really where the need is. So I'm sorry if I can't expand on that too much, But again, this is our third meeting this month. So these are all the things that we're focused on, and that's on the table to definitely address.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
And then let's see, is this grant limited to K through 12, or can it be extended to preschoolers? I can take that a little bit too. I mean, Ashley, the preschoolers, the Success by 6 is still majorly continuing and going on. I mean, that's not going to stop. Michelle, help me out, but is that's sort of a separate entity, and the K through 12, this grant is limited to the K through 12 space. Is that correct?
Absolutely. So, and Kathy McCourse and her coalition and team have done phenomenal things with the Success by 6 coalition. And so she's tackling that while we're really putting our focus on, again, that K through 12 work. It is our hope, once we get, our training wheels off of our coalition, that down the line, we will partner with our Success by 6 coalition, Family Pathways, to kind of bridge some programs to see how we can support each other. But yeah.
Well, and if I believe the reason that we can even get into K through 12 space is because of Success by 6 and the work that you all have done in Success by 6. I mean, that from what I understand is how the Dell Foundation was able to say, look what you've done in Success by 6. Why aren't you also doing this K through 12 space? You have the tools, you have the expertise, you're well positioned in the community to take that on. Is that correct?
Absolutely, absolutely. And we are looking at them as our model. They've been there, done that, if you will. And so we are strongly, being supported by them every step of the way.
Okay, and then another question is, how are you looking to partner with schools in low socioeconomic areas?
So our hope, again, is to have, so let me take a step back. So the first step was to identify the coalition members. Now we are identifying parents to help us with the parent voice. And our goal is we will rather be providing stipends, if you will, for them and paying them as parent consultants. And then the goal from there is to kind of transition them to be a part of our parent board. In the midst of doing this, we are also wanting to get with teachers and principals and our connects at the schools to talk about ways we can support the coalitions that we currently have on board that are already servicing throughout the day. Again, we don't know what that's going to look like. There are so many, but this is something that is, again, on the table as well too. So it's beautiful that the sky is the limit, but sometimes, it's a big sky, right? There's so many things to tackle, but I think I see that from Allie, this is definitely on our radar. And y'all, let me say this too. Sorry, Allison. Once we start filling in the blanks, I am happy to provide, just a one-pager or just to go back to these questions to kind of fill you in as we grow. Yeah.
Well, and like you said at the beginning, and I think it's worth reiterating, you're not going into the schools to provide anything to that. They already are doing a great job. And, and yes, they always need support. And in a sense, you are supporting the school, but it's sort of like you're on the big outer shell of the school, and you're trying to offer support through the community, through ourselves, not so much with the schools, but you have to partner. There's also a question, are you working with Families as Partners program at AISD, which is a good empowerment program on 21 campuses?
Yes, Mary. Yes, Mary. Yes, we are. So excited. Yes, that's where our parents came from. So Maria will actually be presenting this week, Allison, telling us a little bit about the program at our coalition meeting.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
These are great questions.
Allison, I think we had missed one a little further up. Gloria had said, I see a lot of pop-up libraries, but not in low-income communities. How can we promote this?
Oh, thank you.
Yes, Miss Gloria. It is our intent to make sure that we have libraries in these areas. That is our focus, y'all. Like, we want to be, again, very intent on the areas that we are serving. And our hope is to get community members from that area to help build the libraries. We recently, or I recently rather, had a conversation with Emily. I don't know why I can't speak all of a sudden, like that water, with Miss Emily Sassini from Book Spring. And so we have an opportunity to distribute a very large amount of books. So our hope is to, in some way, use these books to, to keep those libraries stocked. And we're looking at ways now with either the grant money that we have or some potential grants that we've identified to build the libraries. And then we will push in. That's the big thing too. And let me talk a little bit, if y'all don't mind, about that. We want to really focus on pushing into the neighborhoods rather than having the neighborhoods come to us. So these are all things that, again, that we have identified. We did some really good brainstorming around the barriers and the challenges, and everything that you're probably thinking is on the Jamboard that we worked on. And I know, Allison, you were a part of that too. So yes, we are being very intentional in wanting to get to these neighborhoods where they don't really have a lot of resources or kind of, they usually aren't at the top of the list to receive a service. Let me say it like that.
Well, they don't. I mean, historically, it's fact. It's proven fact that they don't have the print that the more affluent areas have. They just don't have the actual print in their homes or in their communities as much. And so I love, again, this goes back to the community and why it's important for us all to be invested in this. And, when you go back to Gloria's question about the libraries, I wonder, I mean, I think it's, gosh, Eagle Scouts, kids, Austin High has some academies that they're always working, all these high schoolers and are all trying to fill community service hours. It would be good to be able to tell our schools, right, that, gosh, we could use some building of libraries, right? Things like anything, the sky is the limit.
So do we have 5 minutes? That I would really love to share this video. I want to give y'all a vision of what we're aiming for. Do we have 5 minutes? I know it's kind of off the cuff.
Absolutely, Michelle. Yes.
Okay, so let me share my screen. Let's see here. Uh-oh, I didn't Okay.
I'm really excited for Philadelphia because the city is fired up about early literacy. Philly is known for our people, and I think that's what makes us really special. If we're doing poorly in something, we're going to let our people know, hey, get it together, because our kids and our families deserve better. And if we're doing a great thing, it's like we want everybody to know about it, and we want everybody to get on board.
I just didn't think that there was another organization in the city that could better lead this effort than the Free Library of Philadelphia. This is a campaign that is doubling down on the priority the city has on ensuring its children are successful readers and will eventually be successful citizens.
Our kids are really smart, and they really have energy and vibrance, and given the right mentorship or given the right direction, given the right resources, they could all be successful.
Read by Fourth is a coalition of more than 100 partner organizations that represent small grassroots organizations, neighborhood businesses, and large systems. All of these organizations have come together around our promise of grade level reading for our children.
I really love the working group idea. I think a lot of times, especially being from Philadelphia, you grow up here and you feel like the city just happens to you. But now I feel like I'm able to affect change in the city.
We actually know what it takes to get children to read on grade level. So we don't need to test ideas. What we need to do is have the commitment to implement the ideas that work at scale. We are working to make sure that more children enter kindergarten ready to learn, that more children are at school every day on time, that children have the resources they need out of school and in the summer to reinforce that learning. We're also working to make sure that the instruction inside our classrooms is top-notch, and that those classrooms and teachers are resourced with the things they need to deliver that kind of high-quality pedagogy that our students deserve. But most importantly, we're making sure that we untap that resource of a family's love for their children.
Dad and a mom wear a lot of hats in the family, and teaching is one of the biggest ones. So reading with them is one of the staples of me leaving a footprint in his life.
Having my own son, who's actually a delayed speaker, literacy became a passion for me. Now he loves to read, he enjoys it, and that makes me feel good. It makes me feel like, you know, it's worth something. And I want to help other families do the same thing.
What's been fun about this process is just who's come to the table to participate in really helping promote the successful child and the successful family around literacy.
Well, when you're in my chair, you're definitely going to not just get a haircut, you're going to learn how to read. You know, I wanted to be a pillar in the community to help focus their minds on the right path and do the right thing.
When a young child's excited about cereal or an apple, or maybe once in a while a candy bar, they start to realize that reading's necessary and communicating's necessary. And so it really is a great place to learn.
This relationship that the Free Library has with the School District of Philadelphia is the best I've seen in the many libraries I've worked in.
I'm tremendously proud about the thousands of students in kindergarten through third grade who are reading at higher levels. And many people think that in urban centers that work cannot be done. And we're proving here in Philadelphia that not only can it be done, but it can be done to move large groups of students from one level to the next.
My son went from struggling in his reading to actually reading very well. I'm so proud of him right now. And I'm really proud of Ms. Johnson. She did not give up on him.
We have a responsibility, both a moral responsibility to educate our kids, but also a practical one. Do we want them on the corners doing things they're not supposed to be doing? Do we want to incarcerate them? Do we want them working in low-wage jobs? No. So if you don't want that, just teach them how to read. It's not that hard to teach them how to read if you give them the resources.
As a parent, early literacy is important to me because I want my son to be the best he can be. I want him to grow up and be confident and be strong.
Are we cultivating young people that will turn into compassionate, well-read, cultured adults and help make this world a little better? You know, there's so many people who have businesses or nonprofits, and I don't think that would have been able to happen if a person in their early life didn't decide something's missing, and I want to be the person to create that. And I want young people to be able to find that in the pages of the book.
We are making sure that reading really is everywhere in Philadelphia, and that everywhere you turn, families and children are supported in raising readers. When we do that, coupled with high-quality programs, we're going to make our promise come true.
Every time that video gets me. Every time.
Love that. Thank you for sharing that.
Yes.
Do we have any more questions? Let's look. Just lots of kudos. I love the goal of going to the neighborhoods and communities. Is that some way we can be involved in this mission by actually being on the ground? I think a big yes. So what should people do if they want to actually be on the ground and involved in this work? Contact you?
Absolutely. And I will put my information in the chat one more time for you all, but you know, Jen is a wonderful resource. Allison, everyone that's connected with the United Way that you may know, they know how to reach me. If they say Michelle who, just say Mimi. That means they know me by Mimi. But yes, please reach out. Any and every idea is welcome.
Well, I know I'm very, very inspired by Philadelphia. So thank you for showing that. I mean, it's true. It's a matter of lighting the fire under us. And sometimes we really can feel, I know I can, that it's just the problems out there are too big and we just freeze. We can't tackle them. But I'm here to tell you that United Way can, and they do. And they do it by involving the entire city. And it's awesome. So come get involved.
Yes, absolutely. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you both so much, Allison and Michelle, for sharing this vision and your work with us. I really love hearing the message, Michelle, that every kid belongs to me. I think every kid does belong to all of us. And I love hearing that what happens in the school day is one piece of what our kids need to learn to read, to get the education, to have the future that we all want for them and for our community, and the idea that this really needs to be everywhere. So thank you for the focus on the role of the community, for relationships, the importance of relationships with families and other groups, and just on thinking really big about what's possible here. I think that is exciting, and I hear this today and I really believe that we'll get there. Thank you to everyone who joined us today for sharing your time and for your interest in learning more about this very important work. Schools need partners like United Way and like every single person here to help students succeed. And so I really appreciate you investing in this way and everything else you're doing. This kind of collective action is what we need to be sure everyone can enjoy that promise that Austin has, the reason that we all love this community. And now more than ever, it's important to invest in United Way's work. When you support United Way, your investment helps children and families in Austin have access to education, health, and financial stability. It goes far beyond what we've learned about today. I want to thank all of you here who are already supporters of United Way and its work here. Thank you to Tocqueville United members, Women United members, and Emerging Leaders members who joined us here today as well. If you're interested in getting more involved with United Way, you can reach out to Jennifer Woods, who spoke at the beginning of this event. Her email is Jennifer, JENNIFER.woods@uwatx.org. And Michelle also shared her contact information in the chat. For anyone who missed it, it's Michelle, MICHELLE, .Hutson, HUTSON Crawford, CRAWFORD, @uwatx.org. And her phone number is 512-225-0359. I'm so glad to hear people wanting to connect and get involved. And Michelle and Allison, thank you both for sharing this exciting program and the work that you're doing. We can't do this important work without everyone who's here. So thank you all for your time, your passion, and your generosity. As Michelle said, literacy is the gateway to so much, not only what happens for kids in schools, but what happens in life. And I'm so excited to see what this coalition accomplishes together with everyone who's here and everyone who's planning to join in the future. So thank you all.